better. Damn, weather. What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with 420 Gamer TV, bringing you guys a quick little video. Now, this one is pretty much still in the rumor sphere, but pretty much the rumor sphere has been pretty accurate when it comes to, you know, these big brand companies like Microsoft and PlayStation buying out, you know, these game creating companies such as, like, you know, Ubisoft and Bethesda, because, you know, with Microsoft buying out Bethesda and now making every Bethesda game a Microsoft exclusive on Xbox, and now with PlayStation doing roughly the same thing with Ubisoft and them trying to make it to where every Ubisoft game will be, you know, a PlayStation exclusive. You know, I have no problem with a game company, or I should say like a game system company, much like PlayStation or Microsoft, having exclusives. I have no problem with that. But if, you know, a game company like Bungie, like, you know, Bethesda, buying out these game creators and making the games that they've had on multiple systems, you know, exclusives, that's irritating. That in itself is annoying. I can see Microsoft having an offshoot company that says, okay, this company is going to make exclusives only for this system. That way it helps, you know, amplify the amount of people to buy it. I'm perfectly fine with that. Same thing with PlayStation. So now with the new, now just to let you know, I'm actually recording on my PlayStation, my Destiny 2, Shadows Keep, and all that other kind of stuff. Now there's a new one out there pretty much talking about, you know, Bungie getting bought out by Microsoft, and in all honesty, I hope to God that does not happen. Now, I'm not gonna lie, do I play Destiny on both my PlayStation and on my Xbox? Yes, I do. But at the same time, I more play games on my PlayStation than I do my Xbox. The only reason I play on my Xbox the majority of the time is old Xbox games, and or if I'm playing Destiny 2, I'm playing with my girlfriend because she doesn't have a PlayStation. And she's actually been thinking about switching over from Xbox to PlayStation because there's a lot of games that she misses that are on there. But this is a problem for me because with the fact that if Bungie gets bought out by Microsoft and they end up doing exclusives only for, you know, Microsoft, meaning Xbox, then that means Destiny's pretty much dead on PlayStation. And that, in all honesty, is really not fair because if I recall and remember correctly, that Bungie's debut on PlayStation pretty much helped PlayStation 3s sell like a mother. And not only that, they did excellent when it came to PlayStation sales, period. I think they actually sold better on PlayStation than on Xbox, because majority of people back then were playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfares, you know, all that stuff. So, you know, that's going to be a problem for me, and I'm not going to lie. If Bungie does get bought out by Microsoft, I'm probably not going to, you know, be playing Destiny very much at all. I mean, because you have to sit there and think, well, how's it going to work? Are all the old games going to be perfectly fine and only the new ones? Because, you know, that's the obvious kind of speculation that I have, is all the older ones like Destiny 2 are going to be fine, but then you have to go, well, what about the DLCs that they've been working on, and they're not going to be done until, like, 2022, 2023. So if that's the case, does that now mean that PlayStation's not going to get those other DLCs that, you know, Bungie talked about and showed us? Well, not showed us, but kind of gave us like, hey, look, this is our roadmap for what we're trying to do. Hopefully you all enjoyed it and can't wait to see you join us on that journey. It's like, holy crap. That's going to be massively unfair for everyone on PlayStation who've been playing for years and years and years. Just, sorry, Microsoft bought us out. I mean, you guys were loyal fans and great fans and all, but sorry, Microsoft gave us a big chunk of change. Because honestly, if any kind of game creating company is watching this video, which I highly doubt is actually going to happen, I mean, I don't get that view base like a lot of big YouTubers do, but still, they either are just seeing the big old wad of cash right in front of them and aren't using their brains, or they're broke as fuck and they need that change. Because the thing is, when you become exclusively on a system, that means you're only selling on that system. Creating company that joins in on a game software company such as Xbox or fucking Sony, you got to remember that now you're only selling to that player base, okay? So you aren't going to be selling nowhere near and or making nowhere near as much as you were when you were selling to 1, 2, 3, 4 different systems. Okay, Bethesda, with the fact that you have, you know, Skyrim on PC, you have it on Xbox, PlayStation, and on Nintendo. So you got to remember that now that you're a PlayStation exclusive, or an Xbox exclusive, you're going to only be on Xbox. Unless the specific companies sign out a specific kind of deal saying, okay, hey, you know, we're going to buy out rights to be able to have this on our system so that we can actually, you know, have the fan base come towards this as well, which, you know, they're not going to do with the fact that they pay them a big chunk of change. And this is for PlayStation and for Microsoft, for them buying out these game creating companies for exclusives, because they want exclusives. And I mean, like I said earlier, I have no problem with exclusives. Matter of fact, exclusives are necessary because that's how it was way back in the day, back when, you know, Sony, PlayStation, they had Final Fantasy. Like, most people forget this. PlayStation exclusives and Xbox exclusives started with Xbox because Xbox originally wanted Final Fantasy on their system, and PlayStation had no problem. Sony had no problem. All they wanted was a very unique and special exclusive that was only on Xbox, and that was Halo. Halo was the big PvP, like, people were so big into Halo, and they saw that. And they're like, you know what, we need more multiplayer people, we need more online people coming over to our system, so you know what, hey, we want to have Halo on ours. And they're like, no, that's our exclusive, that's built up our brand, like, you just can't have that. And Sony's like, well, it's the same thing for Final Fantasy. I mean, like, if it wasn't for the creation of Final Fantasy, PlayStation would not have skyrocketed and went where it went. Which is why exclusives are very, very important. And I don't think a company should be exclusive. I think maybe a game type or a game, much like how Halo was and Final Fantasy was. Much like how Fable was on freaking Xbox, and you couldn't get it on PlayStation. You know what I mean? Things like that. PlayStation and Xbox exclusives are a must, and it's necessary. I get it. I understand. But you should not, and I'm talking to Sony and Microsoft, you all should not, because this is going against the people that you're trying to actually, you know, get to come onto your side. Stop buying out game creating companies to make exclusives for your system, because you're going to just piss off a lot of people who are like, well, you know, this whole console war bullshit is stupid, because I'm legit looking at a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 4, an Xbox One, and a fucking Xbox. All right here. Oh, and a Switch. I also have a Switch Lite right here. So, like, legit, I don't believe in the whole, you know, system war or any of that shit. I really don't. Now, I do understand that people have specific preferences. Like, I'm mainly a PlayStation player because the majority of games that are on PlayStation fucking rock. Xbox, I used to play because of specific games, such as Fable. Fable was one of my favorites. Halo was too, way back in the day. I mean, sorry, for, the company that creates it now, they kind of suck, especially since Bungie left. But now that, with the thought of Bungie being bought up by Microsoft again, it's not a hard thought that Microsoft's going to force Bungie to work along with 343 to make another Halo game, to make, or to work on this current Halo game to make it better. But that's speculation. That's like nothing that's been proven into fact or anything like that. But I can see them doing that because it is a game company. They're like, well, we paid you this amount of money. You're going to work on what we want you to work on. So do this or you're gone. So I hope, Bungie, that you know what you're doing. And I hope to God it's just a rumor and you're not legit going to accept any kind of buying out by Microsoft. Like, at all. Because it would be massively ridiculous for every single person who's on PlayStation, who's been playing for years since D1, to go, oh hey, guess what, guys? Nope, we're no longer on PlayStation no more, solely only on Xbox. So if you want all the future content, all that new stuff, you're gonna have to start over on Xbox, or hope that you have a transferred character, much like how I did with mine, because right now, that's if it's true, because I have all my characters on my PlayStation. They're all same characters are on my Xbox. So I was like, I'm not starting this game over, starting at 0 light level and working my way up. I'm like at 1071 with my Titan. Fuck that noise. Like, this game is grindy as shit. There's no way. But yeah, so this whole buying out of game creating companies by all these systems are legit annoying. Like, I have no problem if they want to make specific games an exclusive, but they shouldn't make companies exclusive. That is ridiculous. And in all honesty, it shows how money hungry a good portion of these game companies are, the creators are, because they're like, oh wait, you're gonna give us all this money? Oh, awesome. So now we definitely can slack off and just But yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, I was really hyped and really hoping to see what the new Elder Scrolls was gonna look like on the PlayStation 5. And I wasn't gonna lie, I was more likely gonna also buy it from my Xbox. And that right there, Bethesda and Bungie and every other company, Ubisoft, if you don't see that, I have multiple systems. I am the type of person willing to buy the same game on on different consoles, so that hey, I'm playing with a buddy on my Xbox playing a certain game, there we go. If I'm on my PlayStation and I'm playing certain games, there we go. I mean, I have 2 versions of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, one on my PlayStation and one on my Xbox. So, just putting it out there, if you all want to make money like that's what your goal is to do, then pandering to one system is definitely not going to be it, and you guys are going to go bankrupt, much like the same company that made games for Xbox back in the day, and they made only one type of game, and that was Fable. That game company went bankrupt. Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, they asked Microsoft specifically for help, but because they weren't able to deliver what Microsoft wanted, Microsoft dropped them. So, FYI, just make sure whatever contract you're signing, you read it very, very well, even the fine print. And this is Sony and Microsoft, because they're companies, and their whole goal is to make their companies better and stronger, and they will consume you if necessary to do so. So, just keep that in mind. That's it for this video. I honestly really do hope that it's not true. I just wanted to get this out there and say, hey guys, if you're on PlayStation and this happens with Bungie, do expect that more than likely we will not see any of the possible future DLCs after Beyond Light. Beyond Light might be the last DLC content or content period that we'll get on Destiny 2 ever again if they actually buy it out in 2021, which will suck. Really will suck. But anyways, that's it for the video. I have plenty more coming out a little bit later on today and possibly tomorrow, so keep an eye out. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope everyone has a great day, great night, great evening, all that great shit. You know exactly what I mean. Catch me for the next one. Later.